Today in the news, we got a bigger freaking GPU, price hikes, and airflow for days. What's up guys, I'm Snows, and this is your boot sequence. Well, here we go again. After the whole pandemic, the chip shortage, the swarm of scalpers coming for the PC market, and of course, the miners coming in hot for our GPUs, we got another thing that's going to raise prices for us PC gamers. And this time, it's not just for us. It will affect AMD and future Intel GPUs, AMD CPUs. Intel is safe for the CPU market, although they probably will raise the price, just because. Well, you get the point. It's going to affect a lot of people, even Apple. So what is it? Well, silicon giant TSMC is simply going to increase prices by a lot. Earlier this week, reports floated around that TSMC would increase prices across the board for its 7 and 5 nanometer production by about 10%, and that larger process nodes like 16 nanometers would be increased by as much as 20%. And while that was simply a report, we now have confirmation from none other than Bitmain, an ASIC miner company. The company released a statement saying, on the morning of August 25th, TSMC notified all customers that all semiconductor processes will increase their price by 20% from now on. So that little 10% that we thought was bad, yeah, it's gonna be worse. Now, the question remains, if it's a 20% increase at the wafer price level, how much is it going to affect pricing at the retail price level? Well, it shouldn't affect it too much, but shouldn't is a big word here. When you pay for a CPU or a GPU, a very small amount of that cost actually comes from the chip manufacturing. What you're actually paying for is, the research and development that went into that chip, and also things like marketing, packaging, transport, etc. So while it could increase by something like 5% to 10%, I wouldn't put it past those companies to still cite this price hike from TSMC as a reason to increase pricing by up to 20%. And of course, there's also the, let's call it generational improvement tax, like how AMD went from charging around $250 for its 600 series, like the 1600 and 2600 and 3600X CPUs, and charging 20% more now for the 5600X. Or how Nvidia's 60 series went from a very affordable $199 to $249 with the GTX 1060 to $329 now for the RTX 3060, an almost 35% price hike. Now, I know GPU prices are already significantly higher now thanks to mining and scalpers, but it will still be interesting to see how this will affect those prices already, since they're already inflated. Moving on, let's talk Nvidia. It looks like the company isn't done with its Super line of GPUs. While nothing has come from Nvidia directly, so this is still a rumor, the first of the 3000 series to receive the Super treatment would be the RTX 3090. It would feature a fully fledged GA102 chip. What does that add to their already monstrous GPU? Well, a couple of CUDA cores, Tensor, RT cores, and yeah, there wasn't much left on the table for the RTX 3090, so it now gets 10,752 CUDA cores instead of 10,496, so that's 2 extra SMs, and it gets 336 Tensor cores instead of 328, and it also gets 84 RT cores instead of 82. The memory is also getting a big jump, going from 19.5 gigabits per second, which was already extremely fast, to an extreme 21 gigabits per second. With all that, the TDP of the card has also been rumored to shoot up. Instead of the already pretty impressive 350 watt TDP, we're going to see 400 plus watts of heat to dissipate. That's freaking insane. With that rumor also comes another one, this time for Nvidia's next generation of GPUs under the Ada Lovelace architecture. Greymon55, a Twitter leaker who's been pretty active in the last 2 months, thinks that we could see that generation of GPUs in the last quarter of 2022. This makes sense since Nvidia has had a 2-year cycle between generations since the 1000 to 2000 series. Also in the news, we got Corsair, and let me just check the date real quick. Nope. It's not April. The company just revealed the most powerful fan that they will ever make. It's called the Corsair LL500 RGB. Yep, a 500mm disc fan. Obviously, it's not meant to cool your PC, or it could if you're a little creative, but it's a pretty cool novelty item. Now, this could be a joke, especially with the fact that the video doesn't seem to understand how airflow works.
Get the fan that blows away the competition.
No, you're supposed to say that it sucks the competition. Turn it around, you buffoon, if you want it to blow. But yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. Now, if I was Corsair, I'd release that for sure. I mean, I would probably buy it. Would you buy that though? Let me know down below. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for the catch up. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Drop a like if you liked it, a comment if you want to talk about today's stories. As usual, you can click right here to see the latest video on the llama to subscribe. Stay frosty, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. You might have noticed that there's nothing on the TV screen. That's because I don't have a GPU in there, and since it was feeling kind of empty, I put a llama